And finally, new rule of all the ways America continues to divide itself. Nowhere is it more pronounced than in gender. And until the Democrats come to grips with that, they won't have much success winning elections. Let's just put it out there. Women are the Democrats' base. And men who get hit in the head for a living are Trumps.
До выборов в Госдуму осталось совсем немного времени. В бюллетень по выборам в Госдуму внесли 10 партий, если учитывать тот факт, что «Яблоко» больше не будет участвовать в выборах. Основными партиями считаются «Единая Россия», КПРФ, ЛДПР, «Справедливая Россия», «Новые люди». Расскажите, какая из этих партий реальная оппозиция и почему? И почему не стоит голосовать за остальные партии, которые называют себя оппозиционными?
And finally, new rule, it's never too early to strategize. Democrats have been having a lot of donor retreats lately where liberal strategists hold ideathons, where they try to figure out why they keep losing elections. You know, apart from using words like ideathon. And now one idea that's getting a lot of attention is the Dems need to find their Joe Rogan, a liberal Joe Rogan, because that's why Kamala lost. Republicans have a podcast. Okay, maybe. Or you could consider this. Instead of conjuring up a new Joe Rogan, ask yourself why you lost the old one.
Ну да, раньше партии было в бюллетене 11 на выборы в Государственную Думу. Выборы остается 3 дня, 18-20 сентября. Лучше приходить в последний день и голосовать бумажным бюллетенем, потому что есть возможность электронного голосования. Я вам ответственно заявляю, никакой возможности проконтролировать потом, как вы электронно проголосовали, вообще нет. Ну то есть проголосовать то вы можете за одну партию. А что там потом в электронном...
The Democratic Party's current approval rating is 21%, which is only slightly more popular than Kanye's swastika shirts. Maybe that's why, according to a new Gallup poll, 45% of Democrats want the party to move to the center, which is up 11 points from 4 years ago.
В электронном виде на выходе будет. За какую вы проголосовали, вы не узнаете. Плюс, если вы голосуете электронно, то всем, кто эти голоса смотрит и считает, админам будет известно, что вы, Иван Иванович Иванов, проголосовали за конкретную партию. Если вы проголосуете электронно за оппозицию.
Something strange happened on live television this week. Bill Maher didn't roast the Democrats. He autopsied them. No punchlines about AOC, no jabs at Bernie, no token conservative bait. Just a
this is actually...
I was being fair.
No, this is a huge Democratic Party problem. If you look at Democratic cities, they are terribly run. They have incredibly high taxes. It is impossible to build, so the cost of housing... Let me finish, I'll give you a chance. Cost of housing is crazy in places like New York and Chicago. If you look at Democratic states, you go look at New York versus Florida, okay? Roughly the same population. The budget of New York State is twice that of Florida. What do they have? Streets paved with gold? I live in New York. I pay the highest taxes in New York. You get nothing for it. And I think that is the image people have of the Democratic Party. Lots of taxes, lots of regulation, but nothing gets done.
Hey,
and I think
I live in LA.
Right. Listen. If the Democrats have to own this and realize the answer to everything is not more taxes, more regulation.
Slow surgical breakdown of a party that used to run the country and now can't even run a group chat. And here's the wild part. He wasn't even the loudest voice in the room. Rahm Emanuel was standing right there, nodding like a man watching his own family portrait catch fire. Buckle in, because what unfolds next is less like a political monologue and more like a public exorcism. Picture this. Your political brand is on fire. Voters are running for the exits. Your poll numbers look like a failing crypto chart. And your solution? An ideathon. Say it out loud, ideathon. That's not a strategy. That's what an HRB invents when the coffee machine breaks. The Democrats, the party of FDR...
Moulton said, I have 2 little girls. I don't want them getting run over on a playing field by a formerly male athlete. But as a Democrat, I'm supposed to be afraid to say that. Yes, there's the problem in a nutshell. Because Congressman Moulton sounds reasonable to me, but his campaign manager immediately resigned in protest. Let me make this as plain as I can to the smart people.
Kennedy of Yes We Can are now hosting corporate brainstorm sessions like they're pitching a productivity app on Shark Tank. Maher looks into the camera and you can see it in his eyes. He's not angry anymore. He's tired, like a coach who just realized his team is drawing plays on a napkin 10 seconds before kickoff. That's the approval rating, not among Republicans, not among independents overall. But wait for it, because the real bomb drops next. 45% of Democrats, their own tribe, their own family, the people who show up to every rally in matching shirts, are quietly whispering, "Please move to the center before we lose everything." That's not.
I'll conclude by saying the reason I'm so mad at the Democrats is because as a voter, the issues that were important to me were democracy and the environment. And now, there's no one to champion or defend either of them because you, with your aggressively anti-common sense agenda and shitty exclusion.
Not a warning shot. That's the house alarm going off while leadership is upstairs arguing about the drapes. And here's what nobody wants to admit on cable news. This isn't a red wave. This isn't a MAGA takeover. This is a mutiny from the inside. And leadership is still smiling like the ship isn't sinking. Now here's where Rahm Emanuel leans in. And when Rahm Emanuel leans in, you listen. This is a guy who ran Chicago. He knows where the bodies are buried. Sometimes literally.
For months, Democrats have been saying, how is this even close? And they're right, it wasn't. They could not conceive of a second Trump term, but they should have. When does America ever turn down second? I mean, come on.
He and Maher pull the curtain back on something Democrats pray never comes up at dinner parties. The cities. Because if your brand is "we govern better," then the cities you actually govern become your regime. And that reality, it's rough. Rent that eats a paycheck. Streets that feel like obstacle courses. Budgets bloated bigger than small nations. New York spending nearly double what Florida spends. And yet, somehow, Florida feels like a vacation, and New York feels like a survival simulator. Voters aren't listening to the speeches anymore.
Yet when a book questioning the sudden uptick in transitioning children was released, a trans lawyer with the ACLU named Chase Strangio tweeted, "Stopping the circulation of this book and these ideas is 100% a hill I will die on." How very civil liberties of him. Chase, by the way, has just been named one of the grand marshals of this year's New York City Pride March, along with 3 other trans people and a lesbian. What's missing here? Oh, right, a gay man. That's where we are now. Gay men aren't hip enough for the gay pride parade.
They're staring at their grocery bill. And no amount of moral high ground fills a gas tank. But here's where it gets almost cinematic. Watch what happens the second a Democrat sounds normal. Not radical, not revolutionary, just human. The purity dog wakes up. Twitter lights up. Podcast hosts sharpen their knives. Some blue check with 3 followers demands they apologize for harmful language. And within 48 hours, that politician is either walking it back or updating their bio. Meanwhile, and this is a twist, the ones who lose elections, the ones who blew up campaigns, the ones who ran the party into a ditch.
And it's okay to ask questions about something that's very new and involves children. The answer can't always be that anyone from a marginalized community is automatically right, trump card, mic drop, end of discussion. Because we're literally experimenting on children. Maybe that's why Sweden and Finland have stopped giving puberty blockers to kids. Because we just don't know much about the long-term effects. Although common sense should tell you that when you reverse the course of raging hormones, there's going to be problems. We do know it hinders the development of bone density, which is kind of important if you like having a skeleton. Fertility and the ability to have an orgasm seem also to be affected. This isn't just a lifestyle decision, it's medical.